Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report, another loaded show coming your way. I'm going to give you my final Niners record prediction for the 2025 season. And of course, we'll take a look at the schedule here. And then we're going to take questions from the faithful as well. Lot to get into here. And I do want to begin with this because it really sets the foundation for everything that we're going to talk about here on the show. Just my simple basic read on the Niners going into 2025. And I can honestly expand on this and do a 30-minute video. Kind of did that already here on the channel. But simply put, I think that the Niners are in a good spot going into this year. If a couple of things happen, right? They have the easiest schedule in the NFL. That's going to help. They do have a very top-heavy roster. This is still a very talented ball club. But if they do suffer injuries at some important positions, that's when things could get a little bit hairy because the depth is either unproven or it's a little bit light. But there are a lot of strengths with this team. Offensive continuity, one of the NFL's top coaching staffs. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better coaching staff with Kyle Shanahan as your play caller on offense, Robert Saleh calling the shots on defense, and Brant Boyer on special teams. And what that does, it gives you a chance to win week in and week out. What I also like is that the vibes have been great for the Niners all throughout the summer. That was not the case this time last year when they were limping into the season, and you could tell they were still dealing with that Super Bowl hangover. I also really like how hungry San Francisco is. They want to put that 6-11 2024 season in the rear view and prove everybody wrong this year, and they're feeling hungry to do just that. The defense, we're going to see some growing pains because there are legitimately 6 rookies who could start at some point this year. That is more than half of your starters on defense. And then I think that Purdy and Pearsall, they have this breakout connection here in 2025, which is a very bright spot for this Niners offense this year. As for the 49ers 2025 schedule, Week 1, Niners will hit the road on Sunday to play the Seattle Seahawks. According to Vivid Seats, 53% of the fans are expected to be Niner fans. Week 2, Niners go on the road to play the New Orleans Saints. Looks like Spencer Rattler going to be the quarterback for that game, barring any injury. Week 3, home opener for the Niners. They host the Arizona Cardinals, who they lost to twice last year. Week 4, Niners stay at Levi's Stadium, the site of Super Bowl 60, to welcome in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Short trip on a short week to play the Rams at Levi's Stadium South. SoFi against the Rams on Thursday Night Football. We'll monitor that Matthew Stafford back injury seemingly week by week. Then the Niners with a mini bye have to go across the country to play the Buccaneers in Tampa. Week 7, back at home against the Falcons on Sunday Night Football. Week 8, Niners hit the road to take on DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans. And then the back half of the schedule here. Week 9, cross-country travel to New Jersey to play the Giants in the Meadowlands at MetLife. Week 10, home against the Rams. Week 11, that's when the Niners go on the road to play the Cardinals. Week 12, Monday Night Football at home against the Panthers. Week 13, on the road against the Browns. Kyle Shanahan has a dubious record against Jim Schwartz-led defenses. Hopefully he can buck that trend this year. Week 14 is the Niners bye week. It's late. Hopefully that allows them, though, to recharge for a stretch run as they look ahead to the playoffs. Week 15, home against the Titans. Week 16, Monday Night Football on the road against the Colts. Wouldn't be surprised if that gets flexed out because I think the Colts are going to stink. Week 17 against Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the Bears on Sunday Night Football at Levi's. And then Week 18, this could end up being a huge game against the Seattle Seahawks. So the Niners begin the year on the road against Seattle. They end the year at home against the Seahawks. Speak up, faithful. It is time for all of you watching the show. Yeah, I'm talking to all of you to predict the Niners record here in 2025. Join the conversation down in the comment section right now. As for my record prediction, let's get it. Week 1, on the road against the Seahawks. I think it's a close game that is decided on the margins. It comes down to the wire. Niners win 20-18. Week 2, on the road against the Saints. You should win this game going away. You have the better coaching staff. You by far have the better roster. Wouldn't surprise me if the Saints are in the running for the top pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. 34-18 Niners. Easy route over New Orleans. Week 3 against the Cardinals. You lost both games to Arizona last year. Unacceptable. And in week 5, after a good first half, you did not score in the second half. San Francisco better be motivated to take down Kyler Murray and Jonathan Gannon, and they will be. 26-23, Niners catch the dub. Week 4 against the Jags. Again, this comes down to the Niners being a better ball club than the opposition. And so they're better than Seattle on paper. They are way better than the Saints. They're better than the Cardinals. And I think they're better than the Jags. And I think Trevor Lawrence is criminally overrated. 36-30, high-scoring affair. Niners win by 6. First loss of the year for San Francisco will come on the road against the Rams on a short week. 28-25. Jake Moody misses a field goal late in order to tie that ball game. Week 6, you have to go across the country. I think the Buccaneers are going to be a much improved team this year, but the Niners, with a bad team last year, won in overtime when Jake Moody missed 3 field goals. And so this year they should win 29-26, but it's going to be difficult to clamp down Baker Mayfield. Week 7, at home against the Falcons on Sunday Night Football. Michael Penix, I think, has a really solid year this year. I don't really like Atlanta's coaching staff, but Bijan Robinson, I also think, has that breakout year where he's in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. But give me San Francisco by 8, 35-27. Going on the road to Houston, it's going to be hard for San Francisco. DeMeco Ryans knows Kyle Shanahan's offense in and out because he was once the linebackers coach, then the defensive coordinator. And I think Houston is going to be a factor in the AFC. Niners lose this one by 3, 20-17 in a low-scoring game. And so there we are, 8 games into the year. And I think the Niners are off to a really good start. A hot start. They lose a couple here, but they're still in a really good position. Week 9, on the road against the Giants. Russell Wilson is the first-string quarterback for New York. Jackson Dart is the backup. At this point, if the Giants are bad, wouldn't surprise me if Jackson Dart becomes the starter. Niners win by 16. Week 10 against the Rams. Niners lose by 3. Now, this is only if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy. If it's the Jimmy Garoppolo show, the Niners could sweep Los Angeles. Instead, I have them losing both games to the Rams. I know that Kyle Shanahan has had a great track record against Sean McVay. He was his father there for a little while. But Sean McVay has kind of bucked that trend to a certain degree. And I think the Rams are going to be one of the top teams in the NFL this year if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy. I think the Niners split with Arizona. They win the first game at Levi's. They lose the second game on the road against Arizona. This one by 3. Week 12 against the Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to be one of the more improved teams across the NFL. I like Dave Canales as a head coach. I think Bryce Young was better than C.J. Stroud toward the end of last year. And the year prior, nobody would have said that was possible. I think that Bryce Young has a really solid year, and the Panthers are on the come up. They contend with the Niners, but San Francisco wins by 6. Week 13 on the road against the Browns. It's another low-scoring game. Niners lose 20-18. Kyle Shanahan is like 1-8 or 1-9 against Jim Schwartz-led defenses. Jim Schwartz has had his number. He has Kyle Shanahan's number again. And at this point in the year, it's going to be bad weather in Cleveland. I mean, it's bad weather almost every single day year-round in Cleveland. I would never want to go there or live there. Sorry, Cleveland. I'm just being real. And my attitude toward Cleveland, yeah, it's the same kind of negative attitude that I have for this game. Niners lose by 2. Week 14 is the bye week for San Francisco. They come out of the bye to play a young Titans team. I like Cam Ward as a player. I think that he can help turn around things with Tennessee, but they're not ready to compete on the level of the Niners. So San Francisco wins by 11. Week 16 on the road against the Colts. Is Daniel Jones still going to be starting at this point? If he is, even if it's Anthony Richardson, Niners are winning 42-19. Week 17, I think the Bears are going to be improved, but all eyes are going to be on Caleb Williams. I hate the body language. Don't really like how he carries himself. I hate how sensitive he is. I hate how he sulks. That can rub off the wrong way on your teammates, and it's rubbed off the wrong way on Ben Johnson at times already, and they just started their marriage. I think the Bears are going to be better, but on Sunday Night Football, Niners win in a thriller by 2. And then Week 18 against the Seahawks, Niners win the first game against Seattle. They lose the back half of their rivalry against the Seahawks, 26-23. This could decide the division as we look ahead all the way to Week 18. So remember that. This division, it is up for grabs, and I think that any team inside the NFC West can win the NFC West crown. And so my record prediction for the Niners, I think it's very fair. It's 11-6. They reverse last year's record of 6-11, and they come back this year and they go 11-6. That would be a huge accomplishment to improve your win total by 5. And a lot of it is going to come down to the Niners staying healthy. If they stay healthy, they should be a playoff team. So grade my Niners record prediction A, B, C, D, or F. Be honest with me down in the comment section. You can praise me if you want to praise me. You can rip me if you want to rip me. This is America. You can say whatever the hell that you want. All right, we'll take your questions on the other side. But how about this? We are so stoked to bring on Omaha Steaks as a sponsor this year of the 49ers Report. From handcrafted steaks to delicious fall favorites, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. Enjoy USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites like chicken wings, smash burgers, and big deli-style franks. And right now, faithful, during their Red Hot Sale event, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com, plus you get an extra $35 off when you use the promo code 49ers at checkout. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety. Every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. Right now is the perfect time to stock up with the exceptional handcrafted flavor and convenience of Omaha Steaks. This is America's original butcher since 1917, a family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. They also carry mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and delectable desserts. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. And for an extra $35 off, use the promo code 49ers at checkout. That's 50% off omahasteaks.com and extra $35 off using the promo code 49ers at checkout. See site for details. Let's take some of your questions. Let's chop it up with the Bang Bang Niner gang. Nigel Crane, $5. My contribution to the Super Chat battle. Thank you, sir. What's the latest on Kendrick Bourne? So stoked that the season is here. So for context, recording this show live on Wednesday, September 3rd, Kendrick Bourne visited with the Niners on Monday. They listed him as a tryout player. They offered him a contract. He did not sign it. He traveled to the Commanders on Tuesday, worked out there. As of right now, has not signed a deal. And I think what may have happened, the Niners weren't sure what was going on with Jauan Jennings. Was it actually a calf injury? Was it a phantom calf injury because of the contractual status of Jauan Jennings' deals? He wants that new contract. He hadn't practiced since July. So the Niners were like, shoot, week 1 is quickly approaching. What if Jennings can't play? We need a wideout. And if we need a wideout, bring in Kendrick Bourne, who is similar to Jauan Jennings, won't cost that much. He knows the scheme, and we can get him ready for week 1. Funny enough, Jennings saw that Kendrick Bourne was visiting, and he's like, you know what? I got to report. I got to practice. And so we'll see what happens on that front. We'll see what happens week 1, because maybe an injury happens, and the Niners revisit that. Matt Keller, $5. This game is going to be on my 8-year anniversary in the Navy. Congratulations to you, kind sir, and thank you so much for your service. What are your concerns going into week 1? My biggest concerns with the Niners, offensive line depth, overall inexperience on defense, and a lack of depth on the defensive side of the ball, because there are so many question marks there. Jake Moody has to be a huge question mark too. And then at wide receiver, you're just a little bit thin until DeMarcus Robinson and Brandon Ayuk can come back. Can you keep your heads above water until that happens? Matthew Short, $2. Chase, what is your take on Jauan Jennings? I love Jauan Jennings as a player. I love the way that he plays the game. I love how he's a willing blocker. He plays with a nasty streak. He plays with confidence and swagger. He has had so many clutch moments in big-time spots for San Francisco. What he did last year, it was great to see him have that career year, 975 yards, 6 touchdowns. And if he didn't get kicked out of that Week 18 game for just being too good of a blocker, and the Cardinals complaining about it, probably would have had over 1,000 yards. But prior to last year, he had never come close to even 500 yards of receiving. And now he's asking for $20+ million per season. That's crazy. I'd give him 11 to 15 in a heartbeat. If he wants 20 plus, prove that you're that guy this year and put up back-to-back years of production. Black Mask, $10. Interesting that Brown is getting the start at safety. So that was the Niners' unofficial depth chart. It wouldn't surprise me if week 1 on Sunday, it's the rookie Marquis Siegel and Jason Pinnock at safety. It could be Ji'Ayir Brown and Jason Pinnock just because Brown is a little bit more experienced. I still wouldn't rule out a Ji'Ayir Brown trade because the Niners, once Malik Mustafa comes back, they're pretty good, I would say, at the safety position. And so we'll just see what happens there. I like Ji'Ayir Brown coming out of Penn State. There's no doubt about it. Last year he struggled. Black Mask also adds, thanks for following me on IG. Of course, my bro. His kids were in the Bay Area. Glad y'all had a great time. And how about Black Mask? He felt the way that a lot of us felt. He left the Chargers preseason game after Jake Moody missed the PAT. He was pissed. I was pissed. We were all pissed. I agree. Big Brick 84 is bricked up. Who has the stronger game in the trenches? The Niners offensive line or the Seattle offensive line? Major question marks for this Niners offensive line. Ben Barch at left guard. He can never stay healthy, and he's been a journeyman for a reason. Jake Brendel is an average center. Dominic Pooney coming off the injury, but when healthy, he's a baller. And then Colton McKivitz. He got better from 2023 to 2024. Can he continue that in 2025? Trent Williams, he's 37. How does he look? Haven't seen him all preseason because he didn't play. And so there are question marks along the trenches, along the offensive line for the Niners. The Seahawks offensive line was really bad last year. They have improved a little bit. They drafted Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State in the first round, and he looks to be a blossoming star. And I think he really helps to shore things up. I like Charles Cross at left tackle, Gray Zabel at left guard. Center to right tackle, it's a little bit iffy. Lore, what do you think about Brock Purdy and him not being on the top 100 list across the NFL? So he wasn't voted a top 100 player by his peers. And I think a big reason for that, recency bias, right? If it was going into 2024, let's see what the 2024 list was. 2024 top 100 NFL players. Is Brock Purdy on that list? Let's see. NFL top 100 players of 2023. I don't think he was on that 2023 list either. No, that was going into 2023. 2024 top 100 players. Here we go. It's Brock Purdy on it. He was 28th. He was 28th going into 2024. So again, that's the recency bias there, Lore, is 2023, top 5 in MVP voting, 31 touchdown passes, nearly 4,300 yards, selected to his first Pro Bowl. But last year, he struggled, which is why he's not in the top 100. So I don't make a huge deal of it. It's voted on by NFL players. A lot of them know ball. Some of them don't. I would say that given the importance of the position, yeah, for sure. Brock Purdy is a top 100 player across the National Football League. Matthew Short, Chase, the team with the easiest schedule the last couple of years, finished as the bottom 2. Tank for Smith. You're talking about Jeremiah Smith. Look, outside of a couple of big games for Ohio State, he's been a pretty inconsistent player. And I don't know if I would use a wide receiver selection with a top 2 pick. Here's the thing, too. I don't think he's draft eligible because he's a true sophomore right now. So I think he needs to go to school one more year to be draft eligible, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, I'm not taking him. Ja'Cory Rios, what do you think about the prediction of our Niners defense this year? And can Kalia Davis be a true factor for the defense this year? I think the Niners defense improves a lot. I think coaching alone can help that. They still have some really good elite players, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Deommodore Lenoir, Malik Mustafa once he comes back. There will be some mistakes. There will be some rough moments and some growing pains because the Niners defense is so young. But I do think that Robert Saleh can help these young players develop. The defense that you see early in the year, not going to be the same defense that you see at the end of the year. I think there will be incremental growth and progress for this Niners defense this year. And Kalia Davis, I like him. Just needs to stay healthy, Jacory. And if he can stay healthy, I think that he can be an impact player. Really like what he did in the preseason game, week 1 against the Broncos. But then what happened? He got hurt. So he's healthy now. I think he starts week 1. But can he stay on the field? That's the biggest thing with him. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you too can watch all of our shows and be a part of our mailbag segment.